Right. Hey everyone, time to go overboard with Benji, right? So obviously we've gone a whole ton of dagger support, which is fantastic because one of the first combos I ever built was Benji throwing a bunch of daggers, and now we can do it properly, and we can definitely KO our opponent. So we have a few things set up. We have our prowess of agility as extra draw, amulet of assertiveness, again, extra draw, mask of momentum, fifth card to draw, right? So extra 5 cards right there. It's really nice. Blood Splat Vest, so we can get all our resources in one chunk. Flick Knives for an extra flick, and then basically a whole bunch of double dip attack action cards. So, as Benji, we have attack action cards you control with 2 or less can't be defended by cards from hand, and I've already procced 2 Roar of the Tigers just to get them out of the way, right? So Roar of the Tiger creates a Crouching Tiger in hand, gives it +1. So since we have 2 of them active, our Crouching Tigers are doing 2 damage, and basically all our attacks will maintain that Benji first buff. Well, aside from the once per turn effect. So what we'll do to open up is we will attack with our double strike, right? And then I will block as Arachne, and I'm using Arachne because we want to keep track of life loss, because I will be using Poison Blade to its full extent, and I want to see how much damage you can sort of rack up, and on the cutscene screen, tell the shit doesn't quite keep track of that, but off the double strike, we will proc our 2 Amulets of Absurdness and get ourselves our first 2 extra cards to pass, and we get ourselves an Aspect of Tiger Soul and another Binding Breeze. So both these will generate us another Crouching Tiger if their condition is matched. So basically, they're both double dip cards, right? Each of them are worth 2 chain links, which is very important once we get to Benji's actual draw engine. So from here, we have Benji's other proc active. So when an attack action card you control hits, your next attack this turn gets +1. So we don't want to use it on anything that has 2 power. So we'll do another double strike for another chain link. So this will be doing 2 damage. Our opponents can only block with cards from their arsenal, right? Or from their equipment. And basically, we want to keep track and make sure we're pushing over 20 damage to begin with. Because if we're pushing over 20 damage, what that means is the opponent will have to block, right? Before we get to our draw engine. So, last set of double strikes, right? So pass on the opponent. God, I'm gonna mess up one of these space bars and accidentally pass the turn, going back and forth between me and Arachne. Right, but we will destroy our prowess ability to draw our 2 Spring Tidings, which of course is Benji's godly draw engine. When Spring Tidings hit, draw a card for each other attack action card with 2 or less base power you control in the combat chain. So basically all the cards that we're playing, right? So we'll stack them all up. Again, force our opponent's hand to use their equipment or their arsenal card and hopefully get Spring Tiding across, right? So that's our 4th chain link. And then we can start going into our Crouching Tigers. So as long as we play Binding Breeze into Aspect of the Tiger Soul, we will double dip off of its combo effect. So Binding Breeze first, as long as Binding Breeze hits, right? Which again, they only have their equipment to block with, right? So they could deny that, and we lose 1 draw, but that's not going to be the end of the world. And of course, we're gonna play it out as though everything lands. So there's our another Crouching Tiger, right? So 4 in total, into another Binding Breeze, into another Aspect. Beautiful. Right, I like these 2 cards so much for Benji. Basically anything with the 2 power stat line, right? It's so nice. And then we can go Spring Tiding, after, of course, we play all of our Crouching Tigers, which I'm just going to skip because, you know, they're just 2 attack, and they're just going to add a whole bunch of chain links. And lucky last. So, in total, we have already pressured, what is that, 25 damage, right? So we would most likely force our opponent's hand to use their equipment to block some of this, right? Otherwise, it would be pretty much a KO, right? And their arsenal card too. So then we can, of course, go into Spring Tiding, and we're drawing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 cards, and then 16 cards. Beautiful, right? So Spring Tiding. So even if they shut this down, we can still go into the other one, and we can still have a very, very, very big turn. But, of course, we will let it through, and we will grab our giant hand of cards. There we go, there's the first half. And we can go Spring Tiding again. In fact, how many cards was I off by? I was off by 1. So you know what? I'll do this properly, right? Since I accounted for everything. We will attack with a Poison Blade, right? Since as long as they're just active on the chain link, we're happy. So I might as well throw them all out. So we can go Poison Blade Blue. Pitch our Bubbles, right? Let it land. Beautiful. So now every time we hit with a dagger, we force our opponent to lose 1 life, right? Which is what we really want to keep track of. Remember, we started with our opponent on 500 life, so very curious to see where we end up with, and it does have less than 2. Beautiful. So, no, I won't end up drawing the remainder. I have to play the rest of the Poison Blade, which is fine. We'll do that, right? I need to get up to 20 chain links so that we can draw with our spring tiding. I was actually technically meant to close the chain, right? So that we don't accidentally bug it out, but it should be fine. So we played 3, and then we can spring tiding, right? And that should get us the majority of the remainder of our cards. We're 4 short. Oh well, right? I basically just randomized the actual dagger cards because, you know, we can't really guarantee that we hit them all. But now it's back to just playing a ton of poison blades. And then I think I took 4 in total, potentially. Right? 4. I don't see another one. So unless there's 4 left, I think that is all the poison blades. Yeah, okay. So now the question is, how many dagger tosses can we get off, right? So we have Thrown Dagger as a way to draw, which is good. So that'll be 2 extra cards there, right? Then we have Throw Yourself At Them, we have our Hurls, and we have our Pick Up the Point as our Recover. So I believe what we want to do is start with the Dagger Swings, right? So each of them is doing 2 and then an extra 5 damage, was it? Is that correct? Yeah, 2 and then an extra 5 damage. So I might be missing one, but that's fine. Right, and then we can go Zephyr Needle again. Pitch another blue bubble. Do another little bit of damage. And then from there, I guess we want to play the Thrown Daggers in case I can get the other Poison Blade, right? I'm missing just one. So we will... Ooh, what can I actually attack with? I can't, really. Right, I have to throw yourself at them. Throw a dagger. Right? Actually, I can just get rid of the other one through Throw Dagger, right? So we'll do Throw Dagger as the react, get rid of our other dagger. Cool, trigger our Poison Blades. Nice to actually see them. Although I should probably turn that off so we can do this a little bit quicker. Each of them are doing a little ping, right? And we've lost both daggers, which is perfect. I don't want Concealed Blade because I can't take a third Zephyr Needle since we're in Blitz, right? So that's a Kadachi, right? So we want to go through our Pick Up the Point first. Although I can take Kadachi and it gets Break It straight away. You know what? Yeah, sure. We'll chuck that on there too, right? So there's our Concealed Blade. That gets us our Harmonize. Our Harmonize then lets us swing, right? So that's another little burn damage. So I'm hoping we get close to the 500, but, you know, we might be a little bit shy. What have I done wrong? I've passed one too many times, haven't I? No, I've not pitched a 0 cost, so Harmonize is actually horrible. Yeah, because I took Titanium Bubbles. Ooh, that's not great. Well, oh well. We will play around just having one spot for now, right? And end with that. There's our 6th Poison Blade, correct? Right? Yeah, so we should be fine. I can always just flick it as well instead of swinging with it. So we can do Pick Up the Points. We can retrieve the Zephyr Needle. And then it's basically just playing through the rest of the hand, right? So there's Pick Up the Points. And you know what? I'm just going to throw the Kadachi. We won't bother swinging with it, right? So another little ping of 6 damage now. Beautiful. So we are definitely racking up the damage, right? But again, we've gone through an insane amount of hoops to make Poison Blade do crazy things, right? So I still don't think the card is necessarily busted, but it is still definitely a fun interaction, and it's a nice win con, right? Force your opponent's hand at the end. So we can start hurling. Definitely pay the 1 since our dagger's broken. I should probably also change that back, right? So we can actually get the resources, since I should be getting all 3, since I think I planned around all 3. Right, and then we want to Pick Up the Points. We definitely want to pay. We want our Zephyr Needles. There's 1. Pass. Pass on the other screen. Beautiful. Not Flick Knives yet, since we haven't swung. Where's another Pick Up the Point? There we are. Another Pick Up the Points. Another Retrieve. The other Zephyr Needle. And then we can swing twice. Get our 3 resources, finally. Right, so there's our first swing. Don't Flick Knives, not yet. Crack our Bloodsplat Vest. Swing with the other one. Now, technically, we can do the Flick Knives. Flick Knives. Get our token. Trigger our unseemly amount of Poison Blades, right? Into another huge allotment of Poison Blades, right? Plus our final resource. And do I have more Pick Up the Points? I should still have plenty of Pick Up the Points, right? So resource, Zephyr Needle, pass. Ooh, opponent pass. Me pass. I know you can turn off the reactions. Can you turn off the block as the opponent? I suppose if I just empty their hand, I could. Right, so there's Pick with point. Shouldn't I be able to swing with one of them? Can we just re-equip? Am I crazy? I might be crazy. Okay, but then we can continue to throw them. Pay our resource. Get your bubble. Throw one. Beautiful. No blocks. And God, we're actually not going to do as much damage as I was hoping, unfortunately. I was hoping we could get, again, past 200 at the very least, but it seems like no, not quite, right? There's our last retrieve as well. I've probably missed a swing or two. Right, pass, swing. Yeah, I definitely have more hurls than I do have re-equips. The last two cards must be 2 more pick up the points. Right, and then another throw yourself. Death Needle. Pass, and then we can't really hurl. So, yeah, I mean, the opponent's dead, regardless. We did, what, 167 damage? Yikes, that is actually on the low end, right? Although, granted, this is a blitz, so that's still pretty extreme. But yeah, for the combos we've been able to pull off with the Hunted, not hitting over 200 damage is definitely on the smaller side. Anyway, there we go. Benji, right? Basically, unblockable. So yeah, 25. So even with the generic equipment, they probably would have died, right? 2-2 and then maybe a 3. Yeah, so before we even got to Spring Tiding, we had plenty of damage. So yeah, no Adult Benji, no Spring Tiding, unfortunately. Or I still think Adult Benji works. Just get rid of the top half of the ability, right? Maybe tweak the bottom a little bit to something else. It doesn't really matter. It's flexible enough and sort of different to Ira that you could use it in fun ways, right? Obviously, you need full life instead of the decrease. And then, yeah, unfortunately, just can Spring Tiding. Spring Tiding would be brokered in Classic Constructed. Anyway, there we go. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.